Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized and has 16 minutes remaining.
I thank the Speaker. It never surprises me how much I have in common with my friend from Florida. We come from very different parts of the world, Mr. Speaker. It's if you go to many events in this town, they'll generally have a southeastern states section and a Florida section. Florida is a little bit different from the rest of those southeastern states. Our constituencies may not look the same demographically, may not look the same on paper, but when it comes to caring about one another, I have no doubt that our communities are incredibly similar, as a gentleman from Florida and I are very similar. And the debate is not about whether or not we have an obligation to our neighbors. We do. The question is, are we meeting our obligation to our neighbors? And I will tell you that we are not. The pathway up in this country is what our obligation is here. I would say to my friends that providing a safety net that has no ladder out is a cruel and unsatisfactory path for this House. I was talking with a gentleman down in Southeast D.C., Mr. Speaker. He runs a project that takes folks from homelessness and drug addiction to employment. And he said, the problem with you Republicans is all you do is offer people hope. Pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Tomorrow will be better than today. He said, hope in the absence of access is futile. He said, but Democrats offer help. If you're naked, I'll clothe you. If you're hungry, I'll feed you. If you're in prison, I'll visit you. But he said, help in the absence of a pathway out is to condemn someone to a life of poverty. He said, what you all have to do is to come together. You have to provide that help to meet people's immediate needs, but you have to provide that pathway out. Mr. Speaker, I don't care if you're rich today. I care whether or not the opportunity exists in America for you to be rich tomorrow. And I don't mean rich by having 6 figures or 7 figures or 8 figures. I mean rich because you've got a roof over your head and you can feed your family. The American dream, Mr. Speaker, is not to be the next Bill Gates. I don't know where that ever got started. The American dream is to be able, by the sweat of your brow and the power of your ideas, to be your own man or woman, to make your own decisions. Listen deeply to the words of my friend. And I look for where we might find that common ground because, Mr. Speaker, I would say to my friend from Florida, if you go into any public housing facility in my district, they will tell you that the federal government prevents them from succeeding. The residents would say, you've got to let us kick the bad actors out. The residents would say, we've got folks here who are trying to make a difference, and we've got folks here who are bringing us down. And you've got to give us the ability to keep our kids safe. You've got to give us the ability to keep our community safe. You've got to give us the ability to run our lives. But federal law says no, Mr. Speaker. Federal law says we know what's fair. We know what's best. But I know the gentleman from Florida and I share a heart for letting folks in these communities take control of their lives, make those choices that enable tomorrow to be better than today. And, Mr. Speaker, with this budget, again, I can't make this point sharply enough. The President proposes to spend $6 trillion on interest alone over the next 10 years. $6 trillion. Now, at the President's spending levels, Mr. Speaker, that's almost 18 months of running this country. Understand that because of the borrowing patterns of past Congresses and administrations, we are losing 18 months of the very services the gentleman from Florida proposes that we provide. 18 months are eroded out of the next 10 years with interest alone.